All right, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Let's get right into it. This is task 5. So, you will have some Spanish sentences. You've already hopefully seen or heard these sentences. They are all from Guapo, the Senor Willie story about Victor. In that song, we use ser and tener, right? These are the infinitive forms of the verbs. And we use these verbs to describe people in the song. And in general, really. Ser is to be. Oops. Nope, that's wrong. This is to be. It's kind of the more permanent kind of the verb. It's a more permanent version of to be, all right? Versus estar, which is more temporary. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're using this. That's to be, and this is to have. If you remember, to say your age in Spanish, you have to say, I have 15 years, right? Yo tengo 15 años, right? I have 15 years, which in English, all that means I am 15 years old, right? Because there's the direct translation and there's the common sense translation. And the common sense translation, that means how we need to understand it so that it makes sense to us. Cool. Now, the first one has soy and delgada in it. Now, hopefully by now you know that soy, let me just get a bigger pen. You should hopefully know by now, because you've used it so much, you should know that soy means what? It breaks up into two parts, right? You have your pronoun, and then you have your conjugated verb. I am. Okay? This is your pronoun. This is the conjugated version of the verb ser. Okay? Down here at the bottom of the page, there is the table. So, if you forgot that soy means I am, just go down here. Here's the pronoun for I, and then here is the am part. Now, what I want you guys to get from this is that in English, we always have to have the pronoun attached to the conjugated verb, right? We don't think about it, but let's finish the sentence. So, soy delgada, right? And that means I am thin. It is a girl saying this because there's an A at the end. Now, in English, if I were to let me go back to the soy part. Go back down here. You will notice that the pronoun for soy is yo. We've been using this all year when you wanted to say you're from Leland. Yo soy de Leland. Okay? I am from Leland. Now, what I'm trying to say is that you can just say this, soy de Leland. And people will understand still that you are talking about yourself. So, what I want you to think about is that, or what I want to ask you guys is why there is no pronoun here. Okay, and yet in English, there is a pronoun. ¿Por qué? Well, the reason is that in Spanish, you can have what's called a implied pronoun, the purple. That means that it's there, and you just don't see it. But what's important to know is that yo is always going to be paired with soy. Tu is always going to be paired with eres. Ella, usted is always going to be paired with es. Like, you can't combine any of these with a different one. Like, you can't say yo eres. That makes no sense. You can't say ella soy, right? That does not make sense. Okay? So because of that, because yo is always going to be attached to soy, you don't need to put the yo part here, because soy is always going to be associated with yo, which here is right there, yo soy, I am. There's no getting around that. In English, we can't do that. Let's take away the pronoun. It doesn't work, right? Because what are you left with? You're left with am thin. You need to always have the pronoun in English. Whereas in Spanish, you can get away with saying just the conjugation of the verb most of the time. So let's go on. So that gives you here soy is broken up into two parts. I am, your pronoun and your verb. So this is I am thin. Okay, because these two equal a soy. Okay, let's take tienes. So here's number 2. There's your conjugated verb, right? That comes from the infinitive form of tener, right? Which means, tell me, to what? To have, okay? Okay. So we don't have a chart down here, but hopefully you have your chart from, I believe it was task 4 or 3, where you made a chart for this verb, to which you would go back to and you would see that tienes comes with the pronoun tu. Okay? And tu in English means what? You. Tienes, well, tener means what? To have. So then we just say you, what matches with you in English? You has? Nope. You have, right? And aparatos is just braces. So this is you have braces. Again, you don't need the pronoun in a lot of cases, but I'm going to put the pronoun here, implied, okay, in parentheses. Now, before I move on to the next one, I just want to remind y'all to be careful with 6, 7, and 8. These are the same sentences from another task, and I want to remind you that there are multiple pronouns that you could potentially use in these 3 numbers. Don't just translate it based on what you remember from the song. Okay, so if you see, for example, S, no, I don't like that color. Let's go with red, S, right? Go down to your chart. Here it is. There are 1, 2, 3 possible pronouns. So that's he is. No, let me make that more clear. He is, she is, and you are, right? Usted is the formal way to address someone, one person. That's the Miss Williams form. So the verb is, or the adjective is guapo, right? We see that it ends in an O, so that crosses out the ella, which means that you are left with that, and you've left with that. So for the correct answer for number 6, which you should have had from the other one, is either he is handsome, or, so that's your L, S, well, or you, formal, are handsome, which is usted. Let me write that out. Usted es guapo, right? And we are talking to a dude, a guy, okay? Because of the O. This is the part that gets people very confused with Spanish because of the formal and informal. We don't do that in English. So here we have the formal. What is the informal way to say this? So our informal you in Spanish is tú. But let me erase all this mess. But do we use S again? Well, no, because I don't see a tú here. Nope. I see a tú here, and then I match it to the conjugation. So it would be tú eres guapo. And this is still you are handsome. You are handsome. But what's different from the other one? This one is informal. Okay? That's just a reminder. So for all of these, make sure you write the Spanish. And then to English. And then to English. Right? Because if you just write the Spanish answers or the English translations or whatever, if you just write the translations, it doesn't make sense when you come back to it again, hopefully one day. So here, soy, this is from before. Soy is not just am. It breaks down into two parts, your English pronoun and then the conjugated form. So this is I am. Okay? Now, this is a tough one, so I'll give you guys this one. So actually, I got caught up by this one too. I got confused. So let me see if I can figure this out again. So you want to translate each conjugated form of ser into English. Okay. So we go we go up to our hopefully clean chart. We are looking at number 4. S has this one, this pronoun, and this pronoun. He, she, formal you. Okay. Let's see. So that would mean, all right, and S is just is. He is. She is. So that is él es. Ella es. Just to be, let me make that more clean. This is here. L S A S. So what's the third one? We did that one. We did that one, and then we have usted. Oops, wrong color. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Usted es. What is that? In English, it's still you, right? You're talking to one person. But instead of you is, it's you are. And what makes this different is that this is the formal way to address someone. I hope that makes sense, okay? Because there are 3 potential pronouns there. This one is straightforward. I will do 2 of these with you. Here, we're talking about how many people? One person, right? Let's pretend that we are going to just take out his name and replace it with a pronoun. We're talking about a guy. So when we're talking about someone, and it's a single person, right? Yo is talking about yourself. Tú is talking to someone. Él, ella, usted, that's talking about one person, okay? So we're looking at a guy. So this is going to be that. And we're looking for the conjugated form of ser. So look for L. Go back to your chart. And once again, we're here. LS. So Victor es guapo. I mean, that seems to, like, it's pretty common sense, right? Because it sounds like is in English. But don't let that fool you, because sometimes translations, direct translations like that, aren't friendly. Let me bring you to number 4. And I'm going to ask you to tell me what this answer might be. Okay? First of all, you need to decide who are you talking to? Are you talking to them? Are you talking about them? Talking one person? Are you talking to multiple people? Here I see Victor, right? And I don't see anybody else. So my assumption is that I'm talking about one person. Now, this is the thing here that's tricky. Am I talking about him or am I talking to him? What do you think? Well, it could really be both. If this crossed out thing is, crossed out. Because look, Vic, there. Okay. This is one potential way to ask this. Here's the implied pronoun. What's your implied pronoun? Go back to your chart. Again, there we go. Victor is a dude. So your implied pronoun here is L. So before I move on to the second possibility, you tell me, in this example, are you talking to Victor or are you talking about Victor? Okay. Let me give you the second option. There's one more way to do this, right? And that's if I take this out. So this is actually not implied, at least in the example. It's given to you. Sorry. It's given to you. Oh my goodness. It's given to you. So that's there. And you got your blank here. So what's your pronoun? Pronoun is right there. Ding, 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 ding. 2. Look at your chart. You've got 2 here, and you've got its matching conjugation of eres. So then eres goes here. So now, you tell me. I think I already gave you the answer, but is it 1 or is it 2 that fits into? Which one is the answer for number 4? Is it choice 1 or choice 2? I believe I already gave you the answer. It is definitely choice 2. And the reason for that is what? The reason for that is because this pronoun is given. Okay? But it could be either one. If that's that, then you can say Victor. Think about, as I write this, who am I saying this to? Or am I talking to Victor? Let me write them both out. Okay, the first sentence says, Victor, él es guapo. And the second sentence is, Victor, ¿eres tú guapo? Okay, the first one, are you talking, this one, number 1, are you talking to someone or about someone? You are talking about someone. There's your pronoun. That's your he. Okay? talking about someone. This is a little confusing, but you're talking about someone to someone. So, for example, in the script on like a theater script, whatever, you would say, Victor, like what do you think? Is he sassy or handsome? And then, I don't know, Alika says, absolutely not. Okay? So you are talking to Alika, right, about Victor. Sorry, Alika. And then, so number 2, it's not the same, right? You are now talking to who? You're now talking to Victor, right? Because you've got your pronoun here, the to pronoun, which is also matched to that, and you are now having this conversation. You, Victor. I mean, this is not a realistic one. Are you handsome? And then Victor says, well, of course. Oh, let's just keep it short. Bet. All right. So, different script, right? Different show. Sentence 2, you're talking to Victor. You know that because you have the to pronoun and you have the eres that matches, that always goes with to. Now, to make it more complicated, well, not really, actually, you can just do this. Victor, eres guapo? Again, in Spanish, right, it's implied a lot of times as a pronoun. Just like when I say to you in the morning, very early, and I'm very annoying to you, I say, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Right? Estás comes from estar, right? This is how. How are you? But I always say, ¿cómo estás? Right? I don't usually say, ¿cómo estás tú? Right? But that's there. It's implied. And the tú and estás, they always go together, right? And that means you are. Okay? So Victor, eres guapo, or Victor, eres tú guapo. Oof, that's a little confusing, right? Hopefully you got some sense from that. This one's a little more straightforward. And again, y'all, if you need to look stuff up, which you will, I'm totally cool with that. Just use reverso.net, okay? And I would not try to translate whole sentences. I would try to pick apart the sentence, maybe translate the adjective. Well, you'll see, because sometimes it's easier to translate smaller bits than bigger bits. You will see. So translate each sentence to Spanish. Use the word box to help you. Make sure adjective agrees if it's a boy or girl, and if it's singular or plural. Okay, we. What's your pronoun for we? I always say we have big noses. We have big noses, and we like to eat famous Amos cookies, right? This is if it's an AR verb, right? That's my little thing to help you remember. So that would be nosotros. That's your nose right there. And then let's find an AR verb. Hablar, right, to speak. Cut off the AR. You have your root. You have your famous hemos. Nosotros hablamos. We speak con Bruno. Sorry, de Bruno. We speak of Bruno. So anyway, that's a bit of a side note there. Point being is that you have we, and that is nosotros, or nosotras, depending on the gender. You have short. Where's the short? Short. Here. Bajo. Okay. Bajo. But what do you need? We is plural, right? So there's your adjective. I'm going to add an S, just like in English to make it plural. But there's that missing link. Okay. We're still using the verb ser, which is to be, right? It's to describe people. So we need the conjugated form for nosotros. Go back to the chart. Look for nosotros. or nosotros, and there you go. It is attached to somos. So you just need to put nosotros somos bajos. We are short. We are short. Again, as if life wasn't already complicated enough, you could also just say somos bajos, which almost 99.9% of the time will probably be what native speakers would use anyway, because they already know that somos represents both nosotros and somos. It's really hard to explain because we just can't do that in English, right? That works in Spanish, but that does not work. Okay, so that's number 2. This is important to know. This is important to know. All right, this is the Miss Williams one. No, lies. This is the Miss Williams one. And it's one person, right? And I think that's it. All right. I hope that this made sense. It's a lot of information. If you have any questions, just ask me in class or send me an email. Thanks for watching.